how we can.
So we moved from the light. So we moved Baruch Hashem from the light into the vibrations, into the sounds, and explaining that every letter contains energy that creates the thing itself. Within each letter can be flipped and reversed, and there's a front and a back to each letter. Like Atbash. There's different ways of accessing the energies in the letter, different parts of it that give off different ones, and then we're going into here. And let's just keep going. And as we were going through the different ways of the letters and the different energies that can be, that they emanate. You can even flip them in oisius that are similar one to another. There's 5 different sounds that we make. Basic sounds. Shahem, the aha, aha, ah, which is all throat. Ah, right? Ha, ha, right? Back of the throat. All of it, the iron, right? Then the g, top of throat. Yi, ch, k, right? Top. Then you have palate. Da, t, le, everything that touches the top of it. N, then z, all your teeth. Z, s, r, ts. You understand how we just broke up every one of these vibrations
into
each one? So each one of these, so an aleph and a ches could be nischalef, because they all come from the same moitza peh, from the same emanation of the mouth. As it speaks, it comes from a different part. So again, every word, if we want to understand anything in godliness, look internally. Every breath, so if it says Vayomer Hashem Yehi, and there was an Amira, and God spoke, look at how you speak, and you'll understand a little bit what we're talking about. So how do we speak? The first thing we do is we take a breath in. First part of speech is the neshima, is the breath in. Right? Then we hold, which is another whole process. And then we start talking. The talking is just the vibrations of the ear going through the vocal cords, right? And then once it comes through the vocal cords and gives it sound, my father never struggles with it. Because the vocal cords don't touch. For whatever reason, he's going through it for years. He can't make kiddush, nothing. Because the vocal cords won't touch. But even after they touch the vocal cords and it gives it its sound, now when you're breaking up the letters in your mouth, each one comes from a different part. We learn to do it real fast. Moving from the chet, right? We know how to get through them real fast, and those are our words and our sounds and our things. But each one's coming from another place.
Right.
Each one of those places of how it's coming from the ear, through the vocal cords, through the r, all the ratios are identical in a way. All ch sounds, doesn't matter what letter, it's a sound that's coming, that's being created, has a relationship.
The Reich is always messing around with the Reich.
Reich.
The Reich, Azayin, Samach, Shin, his old teeth, comes to the Reich.
Reich.
Ash, right.
Reich. No, it should be the beginning. It's the beginning. Reich. Reich.
So it doesn't... It's the top of the...
And then you have bumf. Bumf is the lips. That's it. All the sounds that come through the lips. So all the bays and the fey have similar vibrations. So therefore, they could be nischalef in different ways. So when I'm trying to understand something that has bays energy, if there's a fey there, it could be the same energy, really. Because it's coming through the same through lips. That's how deep the letters and the combination of letters and the chilufei oisius are. That's how deep it goes.
And also I cheated a little bit and I looked forward when when I was here by myself, and he's saying all that because he's bringing the power of the creation, that if something is bad and it's within this, all these categories, it makes sense with you, with what you're saying, that you're bringing it down as into sound, vibration, how we play it out on the screen. So he brings all all these categories to be able to make from Ra, Toiv, and from all that.
That's the avodah. Let's see.
We try to play it out different.
Beautiful. Gam yashinuyim al yedei harashei tevis v'asayfet tevis. We count Rashi Tevis and first letters of words have a certain energy. Last letters of words have a certain energy, so we can make the gematria of the Sefer Tevis of this pasuk, and there's actually some meaning behind it. You know, you see a Balaturim, you see these different gematrias. Sometimes the Rebbe's will throw out there. We used to sit by Moshe Wolfson, the mashgiach of Tarvadas. My father used to take us there to Emunas Yisrael on 16th Avenue.
He was a tzaddik.
He was a tzaddik. But monotone, he would speak for an hour and a half, Shalashidus. I was 6 years old, just sit there, and the lights out, and boring. But the one thing I used to pick up every week is he would say a gematria, literally, but not a word for a word. These 3 psukim are gematria, these 3 psukim. And that I would sit and wait an hour and a half, not understanding a word he's saying, just to wait, because I knew he was going to say some wild gematria, and just to understand that a person's brain can think that way and figure that out with no computers. Maybe at a calculator, big deal. But I'm saying there was no computer for a person's brain. I just waited to hear the brilliance. Literally, it was a show I was waiting to hear. But that was my hello to big gematrias. Gematrias being a real, what's gematria? What is the whole idea of gematria? That whole idea. And then you have umilia tevis, which when we get to the shemas, everything is in the miluyim. The miluyim is hey. How do you spell a hey? Hey, aleph, hey, yud. Right? Yeah. Yud is yud vav dalad. Right? Within the vav, there's vav, dalad, lamed, tes. Right? In the dalad. Right? It doesn't stop in the miluyim also. And that's all contained within each thing. You understand?
So a name can be...
It's infinite. It's infinite. Every letter, an aleph is an aleph lamed pei.
And the
aleph is again an aleph lamed pei. Right? Everything is...
How did you explain that thing that you turn?
The kaleidoscope.
Kaleidoscope.
It's exactly what it is. Exactly. It doesn't stop. And therefore... What looks green here and what looks purple here, in a minute they're going to come around and they're the same.
Yeah.
And that's what it means. It's achatot, it's gicht, it's this. A minute ago it looked like a dalet and a tuf, but you'll see they're really the same thing because they come from the same thing. So they have the same similar energies here, but they'll present different words, so they'll look differently in different words, but they're really the same, coming from the same source. So it's the same thing. So again, as it presents in me is how it presents in my life. What is? What is? That we understand it, but just always take it back. Take it back over. My hand's not the real hand, but my hand's B'Tselem Elokim. I am in the image of God. If I'm in the image of God means, and in the Torah it says God has a hand. I'm not saying God has a hand, chas v'shalom. But the way I understand my hand versus a doll hand, right? I have a lot more happening in here than a doll hand, right?
Right.
Hashem's hand versus my hand, I'm the doll hand. Right? It says Hashem took out Mitzrayim, right? B'yad chazak, right? It doesn't have a hand. Right, but when I look at, but I'm B'Tselem Elokim.
B'Tzimtzum.
I'm B'Tselem Elokim.
Yes.
Means
Dal.
Dal, mas, Less than Dal. 1 billion times less than Dal. Compared.
Right.
Order of magnitude. That's the word I'm always looking for that I can never remember.
Order
of magnitude. Morty always tells me, my CTO in business, and people that are better than other people. There's certain softwares, databases that are better than other databases. Then there are other ones that are order of magnitude greater. It's a whole different order of magnitude. You start counting here versus you start counting here, right? It's just a different thing.
It's not a better accounting.
It's not a better accounting.
It's not about accounting.
It's just it's an order of magnitude greater.
The outcome is the good.
It's a whole different animal. Like he would tell me, this employee is an order of magnitude greater than any employee we have. This guy comes in and knows so much more and can do so much more. It's not he's a better him. He's not a better him.
He's a completely different picture.
It's a different picture. It's a different animal.
Eze tatuf.
Yeah. Eze tatuf.
Jede zet alef, kan dan eze den tuf. Order of magnitude.
Order of magnitude. It's a whole different.
Cool.
It's level 2. Right? V'ine ha'ofen ha'pashut ech mitztarfen kamas sugi tevis. Al yedei tziruf ha'yosi is the simple way how we connect different types of words through combination of letters. So this whole idea of these vibrations, where's he taking this all from, really? The original concept that we have of this draws back to Sefer Yetzirah, which is attributed to Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu, on most Sefer Yetzirahs, on the cover, it'll say, from Avraham Avinu.
I haven't touched that yet.
Okay, so let's look at what the words of the Sefer Yetzirah over here. Shtei avanim, 2 stones, where he's talking about oisius, 2 letters. Boinais, shtei batim, 2 words. You also have to remember, the world started off in hieroglyphics.
I don't know what
hieroglyphics, if you look at the ancient Egypt, you'll see the pictures of the things, right, carved into the stone, of the weird things with birds and the fish and donkeys and weird symbols and things like that. There were letters. The original civilizations didn't have letters in any of their alphabet. There was no such thing. It was only pictures. If you saw a picture of a horse, hand, cow, means I'll trade you my horse for a cow. You know what I mean? There was all books. It was only hieroglyphic. It was only pictures.
Movies were going back to the old ancient.
Correct. There was only pictures. There was no words. There was no letters. There was nothing like that. We have no history of anything in language of any sort. In ancient Egypt, when the Jews were in Egypt, during that time, they had 2 different languages. They had the hieroglyphic languages, which was used only by the priests.
Hieroglyphing is
the pictures and the things like that, and they had their own language. All the priests, in the Torah we talk, Yosef moved all the priests, the Kaihanim. Here they had there was a big thing, right.
Always the Rebbe Shainik.
They had their own language. And it was used only for that. And then there was the layman's sprach. The very interesting thing is, from right to left, right, in English, letters is a left brain thing. Letters and words, because it's bina, it's breaking it down, right? Seeing is more chachma, where you take it in all as one, and then you have to break it down. Reading and hearing and talking is really left brain first, right? So that's why all reading in most 90% of the languages start on the left side. And you read from left to right. Everything. Lashon Kodesh is the only one that we tip our head a little bit the other way.
We go from
right to left. Because Lashon Kodesh is different, because it's in the letters, is really right brain. The letters are really the
The picture.
The picture.
Uh-huh.
The picture. That's why we read. But when we write a base, if you're going to write a base in the Torah,
You start from left to right.
start from left to right.
Even the Aleph.
Even in Aleph, all letters, we're going to start writing them from left to right, but we're going to read them from right to left.
That's interesting. I never paid attention to it.
I just read it again. I must have read it 10 times.
That's great. Not all of them, but
In Rabbi Pinson's imagery, imagination and imagery book. I was just reading it again the other night. Anyway, back to the Sefer Yetzirah. So this is the beginning of the concept of letters. That's all I wanted to bring out. Shtei avanim, which he's calling avanim, I see is boinim. I don't know if this is Avram Avinu talking. I don't know if they were letters out in the universe yet. He's talking possibly conceptually. And then it was revealed by Moshe Rabbeinu what he's talking about. You understand? This could have been before it was even.
Based on my understanding, is that Avram Avinu wrote the knowledge.
Right. But was it revealed? And how did he write it? In what language?
Well, Lashon Kodesh, he knew the Torah way before he was there. He was.
Okay.
That's I mean.
Okay. Yeah. I don't. There are people that can explain this better than I can. Shtei avanim, one day, Be'ez Hashem. I should have the knowledge. L'shmaya, lilmad, l'lamed. Shtei avanim, I see is two stones, two letters. Boina shtei batim. Two letters can create two words. What does that mean? Hakavana. Shemikol beis I see is echayim lechtev rak beis tevis. From two letters, you can only ever two words. Kamei, may I see is aleph beis. Yecholim l'tzav tevis av, v'tevis boy. Right?
Right.
He's giving you what letters do. You can make, when you have two letters, you can make two words. The ability is to make two words. You can scramble it into two. You can make an aleph and a beis and an aleph, so you can have the total of two words. You can't have more than two words out of two letters.
Right.
Right? Umeyoisi is gimel v'dalad, nuchel etzarev, God. If you have two letters, again, God or Doug. V'chein kula. Right? There's first rule in understanding language. Out of two letters, you can make two words, nothing more. Shloisha avanim, boina shisha batim. Three letters can build six words.
Right.
Kol gimel oisius, all three letters, yishapchu b'tzirufim l'shisha tevis. L'mashal, aleph mem's tough, right, is emes. Could be itam, could be meyes, could be meita, ta'im, tama. There's six words out of those, but not more. Out of three letters, you can make six words. Arba avanim, when you put letters together in any order, Esrim batim, you get 24.
Right.
Right? As you start multiplying it.
Here's where I lost. Here's where I need your help. Okay.
Four letters. Right? We used to play. What was that game? Mind. What's the mind game? With the colors. And I have 5 pieces in different colors a set, and you just try to guess what color I have in what position.
Battleship.
It's similar to battle, but it was just colors. I had my thing covered, and you had to guess. I had 5 different colors, so 6 different pieces in different colors, and you had to guess which. So you put your 6 out, and I'd say one of them is in the right spot in the right color, and then you'd have to keep guessing to figure out which one it is. And so if there was 4, there was 24 chances that I have to get it right. right? So that's the idea over here. So now he's going into Shem Havaya. Boom. You touched 4 letters, he's jumping into Shem Havaya. K'moi shematzina gam Shem Havaya. Hashem Adna. Shem Mitzaref L'chav Dalet Tzerufim. The Shem Adna, Aleph Dalet Nun, then Yud, like any word with 4 letters, could be flipped around 24 times. V'gam shebe'emes gam Hashem Havaya hayit tzarech litzaref l'chav dalet tzirufei Havaya kivan shegam bo yesh dalet oisiyas. He's saying, even though Shem Havaya also, mishum sheyesh by beis oisiyas shaves, it doesn't have 24, the Shem Havaya, because he has 2 hays.
Right.
Once you have 2 hays, you're much more limited. You're really down to 3 letters. Ki ein nicker hachilek ben hei rishon l'shniya. L'chein ein ha'oile rak liyud beis efanim. Shem yud beis tzirufei Havaya k'mavur lahalan akdama chav kemel.
So
Shem Havaya, when you have 4 individual letters, you have 24 ways of flipping them around.
Right.
When you have 4 letters, but 2 of them are the same, you only have 12.
But why is it adding? Because if it becomes 3, I only have 6, right?
If 3 have 6, correct.
So if I don't, if it,
he says we'll get to it. By,
okay.
I have the same question. Why? What's that 1.5 times?
Yes. Oh, okay.
I get where you're going.
Okay.
Chamesh, and look how it expands. Crazy numbers. Once you start getting to 5, bonus may have esrim bottom. Once you get to 5 letters, it jumps to 120 different combinations, different ways of possible combinations.
In the word.
In the word. It's like you have a safe. If you have 6 numbers in your combination, right, out of 100,
then you have to
the chances of getting it right are much higher than if you have 5 numbers in your combination, right? It exponentially jumps from 5 number digits. Right, if on your phone, a 3-digit code versus a 4-digit code versus a 5-digit versus a 6-digit code, you can't compare.
Right.
You can't compare. It's a whole different chance of getting it right. A 6-digit versus a 3-digit or even a 5-digit. It adds so many more
every digit. So many more options.
So many more options. Same things with every letter and every word. The second you add another stone to the bias, as the Sefer Yitzir is calling it.
Then you have
and why is he calling it stone to bias? Because it is. Because an Evan is an Aleph Beis Nun. Because an Evan is an Aleph Beis Nun. He's taking you to the end. Because an Evan, I'm telling you, an Evan is also a vibration. Is a word that's a vibration, that's an Evan. He's explaining what a vibration is here. And when you start 5 vibrations together, you create fancy stuff like things with and things, with much fancier things than just one word. There's stuff that starts making things. You understand? He's explaining that's Evan and bottom is because it's the foundation of the thing you're building. You're building a word. Pasuk is you're building a word. You're creating, but I'm saying it's even deeper. It's Evan.
How does Evan get me there? But
okay.
We'll get
Chamisha avanim b'nis mei v'esem batim. K'moshe mitzinu gabe.
Kif
chof tzirufei elikim. There's 120 different ways to switch up the letters in elikim. V'gam gabe kof chav tzirufei eliyahu. I never heard of that. 120 different ways of mixing the letters of Eliyahu, because there's 5 letters.
Hanidfas b'sedurim. But like Eliyahu Anovi, every month of Shabbat we say that.
V'acheshben hazeh meduyik gam lahavdil benumrim. This cheshbon is the same in numbers. Kigan kol arba numrim shavn yichayil letzarf al chav talad daifanim v'chamish numrim al chav. Same thing if you have numbers.
You're safe.
The safe, exactly. Sheish avanim. Ready for this one?
Yeah.
Introduce a sixth letter to the equation, to the party. All of a sudden, Sheva Meyes ve'esrim batim. 720 opportunities. Kamashim B'tzino, Gabe Tashach Tzirufa Bereshis. There's 720 different ways of taking the first word of Bereshis, which was the Beis in Bereshis, the whole benengening.
In the beginning.
There's 720 different. Sheva Avanim, once you introduce the seventh letter here, Boinus Chamesha Salafim, 5,040 words. Heim Sheva Pa'ama Mispra Koidim Shuhu Tashach. It's exactly 7 times more than that.
So once he passes 5,
from here on, I'm not giving you any.
Right. So, but you see, 1, 2, 3, and 4 is a multiplication. 5 is still multiplication. 6, it starts going in the thousands.
There's still a formula. It's the same formula. I don't know exactly what the formula is, but it's the same exact formula that's multiplying this times the amount of chances. This is, if you're looking at each, right, you have a 5-letter word, and we just said there's whatever, hundreds of ways.
120 ways to
do it. That's in the Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, in the word. But we just said, each letter, it says, V'chol shkein machalif moises ba'oises acheres. Once you start flipping them around based on all those other ways. Once you start flipping it around, each letter could be this letter could be this letter could be that, this letter could be that. It doesn't stop. And when we start putting together these tirufei yosis, these combination of letters, which are limitless. Nivru kol habruim ha'elyonim v'tachtonim k'mavuir la'el. This is creation itself. V'lachein tamad v'ramos koyach ha'chayis shal kol davar ba'osi shemai. That's why each person and each thing is the name that it's called, with the letters. Whatever that thing is called, that's why we keep saying Shin Lamed Ches Nun, a shulchan. This is a shulchan kamay sha'amar hakas of nefesh chaya hu shemai. The nefesh chaya, the thing that's keeping it alive, is the name, because the name is the thing that it is. Da kavana sha'nefesh chaya hainu pnimius achaya shal kol davar. The nefesh chaya is the pnimius of the chayas that keeps the thing alive. Heim oisius Hashem shaloi, the oisius of the Shem of that thing. Kamoi ha'evan. Look at the one he used. That's what I was I was just tripping on that a minute ago. Kamoi kigain ha'evan shoydish chiyusay nimshach mishalosh oisius elu aleph beis nun. The aleph beis and nun is the evan. V'chein hu begofa adam shchiyusay nimshach mei aleph daled mem. The structure of humankind is Aleph Daled Mem. As we refer to Adam, as it refers to the creation of human, Aleph Daled Mem. That's the
components.
The components. Oyach and Mishar Shemesh, V'shoyres Nishmas Adam. Then you go into your Shoyres Nishama and your name. Nimshach Ma'oisish Shemoy HaPrati. Shehema halevushim l'shoydesh chayis nishmasai. Your name is the levush for the chayis nishmasai, for your life force. V'kachu b'chol advarim sheba'olam. יש כמה דברים שהצירוף שלהם מוירה על עניין לא טוב. Sometimes you can have a tziruf that shows the underbelly of it, the underside of the tapestry. Sometimes you can have a combination of letters that from there is drawn down, Rahman al-Slan, not good experiences of Kedoma. Lezois yesh eitza lahamtek al yedei sheyeshna es atzirif sheyeshana es atzirif l'toiva. When you understand this system and you see things coming down as a tzara, right? And you see tzaddik reish hey, right? Tzaddik reish aleph.
Hey.
Hey, right? What does he say over here?
Yeah,
And you make right. From mitzara ritzei, mineg mineg, pasha shafa, right? When you understand that these things are lam tikmal yidei sheyeshana es atzirif l'toy, come on, minega oineg. If you see somebody with a nega, what's the whole idea that the person with a nega goes to the kohen? Because that idea is that he can take the letters of what's going on, the vibrations of what's going on, and be mamtik the dinim, which means to go ahead and switch around the letters. Create a new reality by creating a new word, by creating a new vibration that's happening here. And when we talk about raise other people's vibrations, that's what it's talking about. If this guy was talking Lashon Hara, this person was jealous. If this person was jealous, this person is vibrating at a very low energy. By definition,
his thing.
His
Vibration. What do you pick up as
when you look at somebody and you smile at somebody, Aaron, every morning, you make them feel a little better, and then they feel a drop better. You just raise that vibration. When you text me in the morning at 2 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, at 4 o'clock, you raise my vibrations every time. So thank you. And when you can do that for somebody else, then good things happen to that person.
so that's what it means.
And that's what it means. When a kohen comes and sees this guy has a nega, he knows he spoke Lashon Hara, means he's a very nebuch suffering from something very, very negative. So he comes and his whole avodah is to elevate it, minega to oinig. Go apologize. And we tzara ritzei, and we pasha shefa, and we kalem, Rahman al-Itzlan, which is the words that Bilam tried to tap into during his rega that he had, to lochem, machla halechem. V'kasha yesh chas v'sham gezerah shel mavaz v'rav yichayil nahafach l'ma oisra. Big money. Uchadayim lahem. It depends on the Rebbe. Perfect. I love that. It depends on the Rebbe what he switches it to. That's why you want to go to the most positive tzaddik.
When he came to